Well, I want to thank you all so much for joining. My name is Brad, and it's my privilege to be here today as we talk about how you can gain visibility into your Oracle license usage and take control of your software assets. We've got a plethora of ServiceNow experts on. We're going to introduce all of them very shortly. Just a couple housekeeping notes. Everyone's line's muted, so everyone will have the ability to ask a question by clicking on the Q&A icon in your Zoom client. You should see a Q&A icon. As we go through this, the moment you have a question that comes to mind related to Oracle, feel free to type it in there. We're going to do our best to answer as many as possible. So feel free to type that in there. We're going to have dedicated time at the end to address some of them verbally as well. We're going to have a couple polls. Please don't be shy in participating. This is our chance to hear directly from you with no middleman. So please let us know what's up. This session will be recorded. So if you've got colleagues that weren't able to make it, we recognize there's people all over the world, which is so humbling. And we know this time isn't favorable for everyone. Reach out and we'll see what we can do. We will speak to the roadmap a little bit. So please, everyone, we're all adults here. No screenshots, anything like that. And that'll be the end of it. So let's go ahead and hop into the safe harbor notice for when we get to the roadmap portion. I will specify that that's like the last 5% of this presentation. The vast majority of what we're going to present to you today is available now. So there's no safe harbor forward looking. It's just this one last part at the end where that applies. Here are today's speakers. You've been hearing perhaps too much from myself, but you'll be hearing from all of these other wonderful ladies and gentlemen here. These are all of our experts across IT operations management and software asset management. So I'll let them introduce themselves as we go along here because I want to maximize time. And here's our agenda. We're going to start with Oracle verification and a quick refresher on that, just to level set where we came from and where we are now, with a focus on two Oracle product suites that you're probably very familiar with. We're then going to have a whole second section, or two sessions dedicated to Oracle Java, which is an increasingly top of mind product when it comes to gaining visibility into your Oracle licensing. So we're going to spend a good time out there. As I mentioned, that last part there, very small section where we'll talk about the roadmap, and then Q&A. So looking forward to jumping into those things as well. With that, I told you there would be poll questions. And in this case, I'm a man of my word. I would like to know, are you currently using ServiceNow Oracle Glassdoor app in addition to ServiceNow SAM and Discovery to gain visibility into your license usage? Yes, no, or just as importantly, this is new to me. Tell me more. Please let us know. And I'm already seeing great participation. So I'm going to let this mellow for a second because I want to get as many answers as possible. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Another 5 seconds here for any stragglers. Yes, no, tell me more. All right, let's end it there. And I'm going to share these results. And as you can see right here, we've got a good mix of answers, which is fantastic because that means you're all in the right place. So for those of you that are already aware, we're going to tell you some things that you don't know. For those of you that aren't using it, same applies. And then for those of you that this is a bit new to you, really can't wait to dive into this with you. So appreciate your feedback on that. It's very helpful for us to understand how we can be most effective in reaching out to you all. As a brief reminder, I just want to level set based off of that poll question. This Glassdoor app, and GLAS stands for Global Licensing and Advisory Services. That is the successor organization to Oracle's license management services. So different acronyms for ultimately the same thing, the Oracle entity that is responsible for license reviews. So the Glass app, which is verified by Oracle, is on the ServiceNow store. So it's as simple as that to access it. Store.servicenow.com, search for data collection for global licensing and advisory services. Feel free to check that out there. As you can see, there's a wealth of additional information as it pertains to documentation, what it does, what are the licensing requirements, those type of things. And with that, I'm going to go ahead and introduce my colleague Ryan here, and he's going to give you a quick refresher on Oracle verification. Ryan, please tell us what's up.
Sure. Thank you, Brad. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. Depends where you're joining from. But yeah, my name is Ryan. I am from the product team in ServiceNow. I look after SAM, primarily the Oracle bits of the development and the enhancements. And I have been in the software asset management industry for the last 13, 14 years now. And yeah, today I wanted to take you through how ServiceNow SAM as well as the Glass app is going to help simplify some of the ways, the mechanisms by which you can manage Oracle software asset management. This will look at how you can download reports, what are the various patterns that goes into collecting the information from a discovery standpoint, and how it will make you audit ready to share those reports for compliance purposes or for your internal consumption as well. So yeah, with that, we'll probably dwell into the Oracle program that we have. Yeah. So what Oracle does is that they partner with tool vendors like us, and they try to see whether the data that we are collecting as on behalf of our customers, or the tool that we have, whether everything is in line with their requirements when it comes to looking at compliance, looking at the data that is required from an audit perspective, whether it captures the right kind of data. So that particular program is called as Oracle Third Party Tool Verification Program, in short 3PTV. And that is where we have partnered with Oracle, and we are verified on that for select products. With that, what it means is that the data that we discover, we capture, it is all in line with how they typically look at the compliance data. It fulfills all of their requirements. So periodically they reach out to us and they let us know that these are the checklist of items that customers need to probably collect from the environment, and that is what is there in terms of our discovery mechanism. So that is the role that we play. For this, we partner with ITOM. ITOM and ITAM work together to ensure that the patterns that we are looking to leverage is in line with the Oracle requirements as well. And then the reporting that comes out of it is something that is, which is in a proper format and a readable format and consistent format, which can be sent across to Oracle straight away. So that is what we do. And on this one, how customers can benefit is basically, it's just a simple download button that you have to click, verify if everything is in line, and then just send it off to Oracle, and that the data that you're collecting is proper and the way Oracle warrants you. At the bottom, you'd see these are the three product lines on which we are certified, basically database, middleware, and Java. Database and middleware is something that we have been certified for long. Java is something that is a product line which we recently got certified on, and it's there for all of you to leverage as well, to download and again share with Oracle. I'll dwell a bit more on database and middleware, maybe on this slide. So this gives you a view on what particular aspects Oracle looks into from a database and middleware standpoint. What are the various tables that gets populated, and the minimum store app version that you might require. Yes, you can definitely go and download the latest app, but this is what you require as a minimum. Again, the data that gets captured both for database and middleware is the deployment data. Entitlement is not part of it. It's what you're currently consuming, what you're having as an installation in the environment. So all of that gets captured as part of this discovery. The tables that get populated are separate. So for database, we have 6 particular tables, which is listed on the left-hand side, vSession, options, DBA users, details, license, and overview. Same in terms of what Oracle requires. And for middleware, we have that CMDB CI config file track table. Then again, all of this is something that we utilize for licensing as well. The data that gets captured as part of the class discovery, we ensure that we are able to move it to software asset management and get the right kind of data for computation purposes, so that the consumption that comes out of it is having the data that actually gets discovered from glass. Then moving next, I wanted to also talk about the fact that we are certified. We've recently been recertified on Oracle database. So as I was saying that we keep ourselves up to date. We ensure that we are regularly checking in with Oracle in terms of what requirements they have. So just end of last month, we got ourselves recertified on the database latest version. So what that means is that Oracle wanted us to ensure that some additional data pointers which they want of customers that that the data gets collected is something that is already there existing in our store app now. So you can very well go ahead and start using it. So
Yeah,
that's on
let
that.
me just to add to that, as Oracle periodically wants to, maintain this program. And so that's something that ServiceNow is doing, is that we're maintaining our commitment to providing this verification to all of you all. Again, the verification and then the ensuing class store app is designed to export that data for those use cases where you would need to provide that data to Oracle. So yeah, we're real excited about that, and happy that we're able to continue to invest in that. I'm going to turn back over to Ryan here as he gets over to Java, but just as a reminder, if you don't hesitate to post any questions you have in the Q&A. So you'll see that Q&A icon there. If any come up, and we'll do our best to answer all of them as we go. So Ryan, back over to you.
Sure. We have the
Oh,
poll. We have the second poll. Yeah,
yep.
Brad, you can take it.
I got ahead of myself. Let me go ahead and launch this poll question. So we've got two more poll questions, including this one. So not too many, but let me go ahead and launch it. Make sure I launch the right one. Oh, let me go back. I need to stop sharing. Okay. Let me go to poll two. Thank you for your patience on that. For which products are you currently using or planning to use the ServiceNow Glass Store app? Just curious to understand what products are top of mind for you in terms of your Oracle license usage needs. It's available for all three of these, but just curious to understand which ones might be more important. Multiple choice here, so the answer can absolutely be all three. Good response right here. Wait another 5 seconds or so. Any last minute thoughts here? All right. Let me go ahead and share these results. And Ryan, I'd love to get your take on this. I know you're just now seeing this, so
Yeah.
I'll set the stage, and then maybe you can provide some commentary from your perspective, especially from your experience before ServiceNow as a practitioner in Oracle licensing. As you can see, the answer is pretty much all three.
Yeah.
All three have over 60%. So that's a pretty strong indication with just this
Yeah.
data alone, that everyone's interested in getting the verification for all three of those. That said, you can see databases by, over
Yeah. That's not
90%.
uncommon. Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
No, that's not uncommon. I mean, yeah, that's
Yeah,
like seeing database on the higher side. That's really good. Middleware, a little lesser than Java, so probably middleware functionality is there as well. You can start leveraging that unless you're probably not using
yeah.
middleware. But yeah, these are good results. Yeah.
Awesome. Awesome. Yeah, thanks again, everyone, for sharing that with us. Let me go ahead and exit on that. And now we'll get back to Ryan telling us a bit more about Java licensing.
Yes. So before I get too much in the too much into the details, I just wanted to give a quick recap of how the licensing has evolved on Java. So Java, up until a few years back, it was free, but then again from 2019 onwards, Oracle started licensing it. There were announcements that up till certain versions, and they will or patches. Java is something that will continue or will go on to be licensing. But then again, there'll be some versions and patches which will continue to be under BCLA, which is basically where you don't require license. So all of the with these frequent changes, what has happened is it becomes very complex for customers and that we've seen as well as organizations to manage their Java estate. So that is why we felt that we need to have a solution which will help ensure that you're able to get the right kind of insights. On the Java front, earlier it was, as I was mentioning, it's free, but then they moved into perpetual and then now into subscription. So the subscription licenses again is something that has again transitioned from NUP and processor to employee, to ensure that it helps Oracle as part of their data collection and the way they carry out compliance activities. Because then the audit is something that is always looming. That risk is always looming, and they are looking out for customers who might not be using the products in the right way. So that is what is a risk, continues to be risk on the Java side. And then there'll be additional hidden aspects like commercial features and things like that, which customers are not entirely privy to. So from that aspect, it becomes very important that the right kind of insights is something that organizations are able to get out of it. Then and then the last point, basically, there is lack of awareness, because still till today, we get a lot of inputs from the people we reach out to, that their belief is that Java is free, right? But that is not the case, because it's licensable. There are certain agreements under which you can continue to use it for free, but there are a lot of restrictions for it. So there are various nuances basically, and that is all something which ensures or which requires users to have the right kind of knowledge, the awareness to use Java in the right way, so that there is no surprises down the line. Having said that, how we are trying to help you out, to manage your Java estate, maybe we'll move to the next slide and I can talk to you about how ServiceNow helps manage the Java IC licensing. So what we do is we provide support in terms of three license metrics. The employee is the latest one. It's the current one. That is where Oracle is pushing all customers to move their subscriptions to. Uh, the risk is that the commercial part of it is actually on the higher side as compared to the employee and the processor and the NUP. But then again, this is the latest one which Oracle wants the customers to buy because it's much simpler to manage for them. But having said that, how we help out is, we look at what kind of data points Oracle looks at. So basically, the license metric requires that you're able to track your employees, your contractors, and various kinds of other temporary employees who are there, right? Under who are using the particular product. So you can identify all such users. Try to see if you want to create a separate resource value unit for consumption for that particular category, and have it as track it as part of SAM. So we provide something called as a resource value record, via which you can update the particular employee strength or the count over there, for which you can track the consumption. At the bottom, you'd see that we pasted a table which shows the pricing tier. This again is something which is used by Oracle to determine what kind of subscription costs apply to you. So we have leveraged that as well as part of our table, the SAMP price tier table, which provides you a view that what could be the true up cost in case the consumption is falling into one of these ranges that's listed there. Um, in case you believe that this is not something that you are following, or there is some certain kind of discount or customized values that you would have got amounts, you can very well override the particular table that I pointed out, and you can track your consumption and the true up cost based on that. So this is on the employee part. Moving to the next two, the processor and the NUP. The processor is the older metric, as I was saying. The consumption calculation happens the same way as how a database or a middleware does. It looks at the processor, the core factor, all of that. And then the NUP, for which the difference of this NUP with the other Oracle products is that there's no licensing minimum for this. right? So, and this is something that you have to track manually to ensure that the right kind of allocation is done for the particular user who's actually using the product. So we have that feature there as part of when we are creating a software model. You can allocate the particular, you can create the client access record, and you can allocate the particular user to that, so that you can manage it and ensure that only those people are able to get their devices are able to get reconciled when we look at the Java consumption. Then I put a screenshot at the bottom wherein it shows that as part of the metric group we have all three license metric available, which is there for you to leverage. Moving next, I think
Before we,
we can.
oh, go ahead. Let me interject just briefly, Ryan. We're making
Yeah.
good time, and we got a timely question on this, and you might partially answer this, but I'm gonna pluck one out here to answer live. We got a question on how ServiceNow handles users covered for Java usage when bundled with another Oracle application. So essentially, the question is with Java licensing, SE licensing, user um, scenarios where how does that factored in from a bundling perspective or to ensure that the right licensing requirement is set up not only for Java but for other Oracle products. Any initial thoughts that you could give on that?
Yeah. So what happens is we can normally Oracle ensures that or lets out a couple of schedules, Schedule A, Schedule B, wherein you can identify for which particular application the Java can get bundled with. So we have something called as in the software model you can have a suite component, and that is where you can add that Java to that particular if it's part of that schedule. You can say, for example, WebLogic, right? As part of WebLogic, you can go to the suite component and you can add that Java over there. And when you do a reconciliation, it will eventually get nullified. So you might not require a license for that. But off the bat, that particular grant is not something that we are doing. That ability, that functionality is there for customers to leverage and do that bundling.
Yeah, it absolutely is. And it can get nuanced. So that's something as always where ServiceNow provides the capability to make those nuances more often than not with some sort of install condition. And those are the type of things that we would love to discuss more, not only on this conversation, but also some of our other virtual offerings that we'll get into here later. But in the meantime, why don't we go ahead and spend a little bit more time on Java? And Ryan, I think you've got some more things in terms of visibility and compliance reporting. Actually, this is my part. I apologize. So Ryan, we'll hear again from him shortly. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to set the scene for a demo that we're going to do for you all. So this is an overview of Java discovery and licensing. And this actually relates to a question that we got. So I'll start with a question and answer it, and then I'm going to frame the demo that we're going to show you here shortly. So the question is the Glass Store app, why does that appear at present in Discovery as opposed to the SAM workspace? And at present, what we've done is that, the way we've constructed this is that there will be scenarios where Discovery admins, their name or title may vary at your organization, but regardless of title, the people that are involved in discovering where Oracle installations are, whatever they may be, those people are more often than not are going to be involved in the process. Totally recognize that maybe they're not necessarily as concerned with taking that data and then reporting it to Oracle, but they're involved in the data capture, finding it. Therefore, they'll have the ability to export that and then move it along its way. So certainly willing to discuss that more and see if maybe there's some opportunities to shift that. So providing ways for SAM managers to have more direct access to that. As always, that's something that you can work on in your internal organizations to work on. But at present, what we've noticed is that we're talking about the discovery of these products, via discovery patterns, which are glass certified, and maybe file-based discovery if needed, depending on the technology that's out there. That also aligns with the Oracle Glass requirements. Those personnel will have the ability to essentially set up those patterns, set up those file-based discovery scenarios, go out there and get the data. And then when they do that, they'll be in a position to download that Glassdoor app and provide it to the next scenario here, which is the ITAM reporting. So now that we've extracted that data, be it the usage table from an Oracle database or middleware specificity, the SAM manager is going to be able to first and foremost calculate a license position based on those things, and that's where they're going to leverage the same workspace and the license entitlements that they've created. But then, of course, download the glass data where applicable. So to summarize, you're going to see two demos here from the discovery persona, led by Shakshik and Abhishek. And then Ryan's going to come back and show you what that looks like in the SAM workspace. So with that, Abhishek, feel free to take control here and tell us and show us what the discovery patterns look like in this scenario for Java discovery.
Thank you, Brad. Hi, all. Good afternoon, good morning, good afternoon, good evening. And this is Abhishek, and I am Senior Inbound Product Manager in ServiceNow ITOM BU. And I will talk about the discovery pattern. So we have recently introduced a Java installation pattern, and this installation pattern discovers Java installation from server and workstation, and it will scan active processes, Java processes from the system, and it will collect needed information, and it is aligned with Oracle Glass requirements, and we will able to populate information as per the requirement. So now I will share my screen and right away go through the demos.
Awesome. And while he's pulling that up, oh, go ahead, Abhishek.
Hope my screen is visible to all.
I'm not seeing it currently.
I'm seeing it.
Okay, good. As long as someone else is seeing it. I'll go ahead and stop screen share on my side.
Yeah. And now I come to the part where I'll just go through the quick demo. And since we are doing a demo, so I will leverage our discovery admin workspace where we can have a quick discovery option. I'll click on this quick discovery since we are doing a demo. So I already schedule a discovery on demand. So basically in this form, you just have to put the IP address, but this is not ideal. It's just for a demo where we have just one IP address of the server or a desktop or a workstation, sorry. And then once you provide the information of the IP address, you can just select the mid server. Once you select, provide the mid server information, you just click on run. Then it will schedule on demand discovery. So let me just switch to a page where I have already run the discovery, and as you can see, the discovery is completed. And what interesting thing I just want to show you, like here, if you see, like we have a patterns which run. The pattern name is Java installation, and Java installation pattern runs and scan running Java processes into the system, and per process it will trigger a separate Java installation pattern. And that's where we are scanning information about the Java process, Java installation. And once the pattern is successfully run, then we have a tables where we are populating information. So table name is Java audits, and this table is capturing all the information which is aligned with the Oracle Glass requirements. As you can see, like we have host information, we have server information, we have publisher and all. So I will just quickly take you through the Java audit table form view, so that way you will have a more clarity what we are capturing in terms of aligning with the Oracle class requirements. So this is all coming from Oracle, and this is the requirements which needs to be required for licensing. So as you can see, we have a name. We are capturing information about the processors, models of the physical server, or a machine, virtual machine. And you can see, like, we are capturing information about operating system. We also capturing about information about Java publisher, which you can see is Oracle Corporation. uh, we also capturing information about the host. And as you can see, we also capturing information about where is the installation path, and the IP addresses, and processor information. And whether, if you see, more important part is v6 and earlier. So this is also one of the important aspect where Oracle is looking for whether it is v6 earlier or after. As you can see, like, in the form machine type, it will tells you whether it is this information is for server or a workstation. And this will also tell you whether it is a open source, yes or no. So this is all about this Java audit form. However, the more I mean, in the discovery, we have another table which we are it's tracing out all the running processes. And this is also one of the expect important or significant table where we are capturing all the running processes, to make sure that we will ensure that we will not trigger a Java installation pattern against the process which is absent as a true. So we will tracing all the information in Java in evidence table. And this table is having a auto flush rules apply. So once a Java process mark absent as true, we will cleaning up this table, as well as the same deletion strategy cascade to the Java audit table as well. So that way we are making sure that we have up to date information. And this auto flush is running last. It will check for last 30 days. If no update, then auto flush rule will trigger, and it will flash out a table from Java evidence table as well as Java audit table. Now I'll hand over to my colleague Sakshi to go over for ACC demo.
Yeah, and while Shakshi's pulling that up, just to summarize what we saw there, we saw how you can leverage ServiceNow discovery technology to discover your environments for what Oracle products may or may not be installed on them. And as you can see there, and thank you for that demo, by the way, Abhishek, he was showing you how per the verification that we've done with Oracle, we're grabbing the data that's needed. We did get one question I'm going to answer here verbally, and then we're going to get right in the Shakshi here. The question is, as a SAM admin, so someone who maybe is their title most likely software asset management or SAM analyst, but regardless of title, the person that is spending their time in software asset management workspace, is it possible for them to access what we just showed? Yes, it is possible. It will require roles beyond SAM admin, so that is correct. But that's where you can have conversations with your platform owner, and this certainly would be a justifiable reason for them to give you additional permission so that you can access the discovery environment as that makes sense for your environment. We increasingly recognize that those essentially it's one person wearing those dual hats. So that's something you can do. And then that way you'll be able to access that view. You can favorite it. So yes, it will be outside the same workspace, but still very easy to navigate to on the platform. Shakshi, please tell us a little bit about what you're going to show here, which is ACC file-based discovery that, depending on the use case, may or may not be used in your specific environments. Please.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Brad. And thanks, Abhishek. So, hello, everyone. Sakshi here. I am the inbound product manager, and mainly handle cloud discovery, ACCV, and Kubernetes visibility agent from product side. I work in the ITOM view. So today I'm going to take you through the file-based discovery using agent client collector. So this is particularly useful where you don't have the credentials or network access. So file-based discovery directly happens through your ACC agents that are deployed at your endpoints. Now, I'll first take you through the configuration details of file-based discovery. Then I'll show you the tables where the data is getting populated through FBD. And then I'll specifically talk about the Java process here. So from our ServiceNow homepage, you can navigate to configuration console. And from here, you can just enable file-based discovery through this toggle button. Now, to specify which particular folders you want to scan, you can give the file path here. You can give the complete drive or specific paths. Like there are temp files, temp directory where there are log files which are not so important for discovery. So you can also exclude those folders, as well as there's a feature to give wildcard extensions. So if you specifically want to scan jar files, exes, war files, zip files, anything like that, you can specify it here and the file-based discovery will discover it. Now, once this is configured, uh, for Java, there is one system property that you need to enable. So this is the name of the system property, enable Java discovery, where you have to set the value to true so that it discovers your Java processes. Once this is done, also you need to give sudo permissions for Java discovery to happen. This is clearly mentioned in our documentation that I can share with you all in a while. But these are the three simple steps that you need to perform in order to configure the environment for file-based discovery. Once this is done, file FBD populates the file-related data in the CMDB file information table, as you can see here. So you can get all kinds of files here along with their directories, their path. And if the product and publisher details are present in your SAM table, it will be seen here as well. So if you have SAM Pro plugin, you will see it here. Another table is software installation table that I was just talking about. So here we have the product, publisher, version, all these kinds of details. And then there's a third table called unidentified file sets. So if there are any files that are not part of any packages or any standard softwares but are lying in your system, in your environment, they are populated under unidentified file sets. Now, since there is not a normalized version for these file sets, if you populate it in the software installation table, in the subsequent run, it matches the file name, and then this will get populated into the software installation table. So this is pretty much it from the file-based discovery side. This is the configuration that you need to have. And as I said, there are permissions in the Unix environment. You need to give sudo's permission. And in the Windows, you need to give the system admin some elevated permissions so that it can go inside and scan your Java files. So yeah, this is all about file-based discovery. Now I would like to hand over to Ryan to further extend it and explain the ITAM use cases from here.
Sure. Thank you so much, Sakshi.
Yeah.
What I'll do is I will also look to present my screen and take you through the next steps. So yeah, what we looked at was discovery. Now what happens is in the reporting side, we need to identify what kind of files gets generated, okay, and what are the actual files that we can look to share with Oracle. So this is my instance. On this, we come here. On the all, we can look for glass directly, and we will get an option once you have this stored up installed that download glass data collection. We click on this, the dashboard appears, on this, we'll have various options to download the particular software, the additional hardware and VM information, all of these files. For this demo, we were looking at Java. So on Java, we select this, we click on this icon. It asks for an email to send a notification. I put in my email address. There's a job that comes up on the top, which gives us a status. So right now it's in progress. We do a quick refresh. We see it's completed. Depending on the kind of data, the volume of data that you may have in your environment, in the instance, this will show up. It gets downloaded. In a zip file. It will have two folders, one Java with a CSV, and then there'll be CPU queue files, which will be basically the files which will have the hardware related information. Do note the nomenclature of these files. So for example, for CPU queue, the initial part of the file name is basically the server or the machine on which the Java has been discovered, right? So that will be there. And then there'll be additional CSV. Yeah, give me a moment. This is the list of Java with installation details. So if you notice that these are only the Oracle-centric Java, the ones which are tagged to Oracle as a publisher, so that anything which is not Oracle, it's not required by Oracle. So that does not get sent. And only the Oracle ones are something that is retained and can be reported back to Oracle. It has all the details that is required to look at compliance, to look at the consumption, the physical details, the machine level details. Yeah. And going through one of the CPU queue files, as I was mentioning, the device name will be there in the nomenclature of the file, then details of the hardware. It is used by Oracle, right? So for this demo, what I've also done is as part of the same instance, right, we can look at how on the SAM side, we are looking at the data. So this is my software asset workspace. Over here, right, we have the Java SE universal license. Wherein the entitlements have been fed in terms of employee, right? And then the consumption is there as part of resource value unit, right? So in this way, from once discovery is done, you can generate the report, you can share, you can review it, share it with Oracle as you like. And then coming back to the software asset workspace, you can do a reconciliation and look at the actual consumption and how it is mapping to your entitlements. Right.
Yeah.
With this, we'll move back to the deck.
As I pull that up, Ryan, I'm curious to get your thoughts on, so recognize we just demoed a lot there. I'll answer one question while we're speaking to this. We are going to look for a way to make this recording available. So I'm not sure if it'll end up on community in full transparency, just because we're going to speak to some roadmap stuff here shortly. But for those that are interested in accessing the recording, please follow up to your account rep and or your partner rep, and we'll do what we can to facilitate that. Additionally, we have some other events that we can speak to where you can learn more about these things, but acknowledge no firm determination as to where we're going to post this, but we recognize we want to make this available. So we'll figure something out. So thank you for showing your interest in seeing this recording. What I will say is, getting back to the demo that we just did, Ryan, thinking back to your time when you were a bit more of a practitioner or consultant, especially when you were downloading the glass report, just having all of that information. Of course, it's dependent on what is or isn't being discovered. That's one of the realities. But how is that beneficial in terms of, to the end user of using that? I mean, I'm making I can think of some things, assume some things, but I want to let you speak to how you think that could be impactful.
Sure. I mean, once you are able to download the reports, the first thing is it's in readable format. You can go through the data to see actually and try to make sense of it. The columns are very limited, and the files are also limited. You know what kind of devices are there in the environment. The nomenclature is something which will help you to track the usage and try to pinpoint that where the risk could be. um, the columns also have details on what kind of operating system the particular device is, so that if in case you're still on the older version of the Java subscription, you do not need to go on employee metric. You can still discuss and negotiate with Oracle on having the processor and the NUP license metric, depending on where the Java is discovered. Then there are aspects that um, the report that gets sent out, as I was mentioning, it only has Java, which is related to Oracle. Anything which is non-Oracle or maybe for a third party, that gets filtered out, even though it gets discovered. So these are something which gives that comfort to end users to ensure that the right kind of data can be reviewed. They have options when it comes to discussing with Oracle. They know which are the what are the kind of facts that are already there in the environment. I mean, we can't change those facts, right? So, but it's all there to be analyzed and strategized when it comes to compliance discussion or internal review renewal planning. Yeah.
Awesome. Yeah. Thank you for summarizing that. Just to add to that, I can vividly remember the information that we just demoed there. Doing this manually when I was a consultant. We did it, but as you can anticipate, there's a lot of manual work involved. And so having something like this to help automate a lot of that goes a long way. Even if it doesn't automate all of it, even if you're grabbing X amount through these discovery patterns, and then if you have those corner case environments where, for whatever reason, more often than not, security, you're not able to discover those. That's of course where there's going to be scenarios where it does make sense to handle those a little differently. It's going to really help just make this process a lot more accurate, and it's going to help you gain visibility into your software assets a lot sooner. So yeah, thank you all so much for demoing that. Really cool to see that in action. The Q&A section. We've already answered a good amount of questions, so we've got about 7 minutes left here. So feel free to ask any questions that maybe weren't asked already. I'm going to go ahead and look at what's out there already. And then Ryan, I might have you help me answer some of these, or Abhishek as well, or Derek as well. So I'm looking at this first question here. We got a question about essentially the number of records. So I think what the question's getting at here, at least as I understand it, and I could be misinterpreting it, is the volume of data that's not returned into the CMDB. So I think, to summarize the question as I understand it, I think the question is why are we not exporting more information beyond what's required for verification? So Ryan, maybe you could give some specificity on that, because I know that that there's a whole wealth of information that maybe we're not grabbing through the glass verification. And so maybe you could just explain why that is.
Sure, give me a moment. I'll just read through query again.
Sure.
This is more related to the volume of data. I think I'll have to check internally on this
Okay.
because this is in terms of the quantum of data, but rest assured the data that we collect and we use in the installations table for SAM, that is the data that is required. That is the data that is critical to license the Java. So to give you that comfort that in terms of capturing everything and ensuring that the right kind of licensing is done, we have the requisite information. But there might be a lot of additional data that gets captured, which to tell you even Oracle might not use. It's just for use as a reference, so that in case there is any kind of conflict or any kind of query in terms of consumption, those data pointers can be pointed out. I can go through the next query as well. Are these Java reports also included with bundled instances? For example, a server is installed with WebLogic. Well, so the answer is yes, because it looks at the discovery happens in isolation. So in terms of the Java product, it'll look at where the Java will be discovered. But then on the SAM side, as I was saying, you can very well go ahead and bundle it as part of the particular product, where that Java is part of Oracle's approved list of software, and then reconcile it in the right manner. But in terms of discovery, it looks at all kinds of Java that is actually there and turns back the result. And when you share with Oracle as well, it's not that they will utilize it. From my experience, that they will come to you with a report straight up. There'll be a phase wherein they will ask which particular applications or which particular additional software that might you be having in the environment for which those Java that is getting discovered could be tagged to.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. While we're on that topic, Ryan, we got another question related to the Java Suite relationships, and essentially what ServiceNow does or doesn't do in regards to building essentially those suite components. So I think a lot of this ties to content, and a lot of this ties to for those specific publisher part numbers for Java, where it may or may not be inclusive of other included products. How's that incorporated into SAM Pro right now? And then if it's not incorporated in some scenarios, what can customers do to ensure that whatever the licensing terms are for their environment are accounted for?
Yeah. No, we do get this question, and the reason as I was alluding to in the beginning is that even though that material is out, not many a times you are able to get that grant or fulfill that in a bundling criteria. So what happens is you may get a Java as part of, suppose, say, e-business suite, but then there are certain restrictions of that Java. You may be using the Java on a virtualization platform. You may be having that Java, being used for something else. That is why in order for you to get that grant, right, you need to fulfill the criteria met, that Oracle has, mentioned in those documentation. It cannot be something which is, just as a given outright. So that is where we provide the capability for you to add that as a component and then do the reconciliation. But having said that, it's actually done in a way from a perspective, keeping in mind these scenarios where you might face a compliance risk later on, just because we are bundling it in that particular manner.
Yeah, thank you for that, Ryan. And we're getting near end of time here, so we got time for maybe one or two more questions before we wrap up. And in case I forget one, thank you all for joining. We've had great turnout for this, and we've had great participation from all of you. So thank you so much. We have a lot to reflect on here, especially with those poll requests and responses. So thank you so much. If you're interested in learning more about Nexus for Asset, I'm sharing the slide for that right now. You'll see a QR code in the bottom right. This is a free event. We'd love to see you there. It is an event dedicated to asset management. It's going to include all the experts, both within ServiceNow and then amongst your peers. So we'd love to see you there. If you're interested in registering, there's no commitment to register. You can register and, happy path, things work out, we'll see you there. If not, you're not committing to anything. So we'd love to see you there. And if you want to know more about it, you can reach out to your account rep, or you can head over to the QR code that we have posted here. So we've got one last question here, and then we'll wrap up. So on the processor core and socket details reported, are they counted per host, per cluster, or for all EX hosts in the case of VMware? So, excuse me, Ryan, you want to maybe provide some insight on that as it pertains to processor and core details reported?
Yeah, so if your deployments are on VMware, the processor cores are calculated across the entire setup of VMware, depending on how you've configured it. But Oracle doesn't recognize VMware as a hard partition technology. So if you have processor cores, you have multiple hosts, then all the processor cores of all the hosts will be taken into consideration for consumption.
Yeah. Well, with that, again, everyone, I want to thank you all for joining us. There's a lot going on. So thank you all for joining us here on this webinar. We hope that you learned a few things here. At the very least, we appreciate your time, and I want to thank my colleagues for giving a great demo and providing some great insights. So my name is Brad. Hope you all have a good rest of the day, and stay well.